All right, let's do this. Hello! I've never really done this before, but, there's first time for everything. Okay. Hi. My name is Lindsay. I exist on the internet, so this is a thing now. And I thought I'd make a little story time video because my friends found it very amusing. And I was like, well, the internet has things that I find amusing, especially YouTube and Tumblr, because I'm kind of addicted. And I thought that I should finally make my contribution to society. Yeah. Last night, one of my friends doesn't really know the story of Les Miserables, also known as Les Mis. For those of you who have never even heard of it, just very quickly, it is a fabulous musical. At least in my opinion, it's fabulous. There's lots of opinions because, we're humans, we have opinions. It's a musical, and it's French, and a lot of death, but it's glorious. So he doesn't really know the story of it, so I decided to give him a synopsis of it, but using college terminology, language that he would understand, for my benefit as well. The story of Les Mis was originally written as a book, as most great things generally start as, and I, 5 years ago, read the abridged version, and it was still a really hard read. I'm pretty sure the original was written in French. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I told my friend about it today. I was like, hey, last night I had to share a story, and this is how it went down, and I thought it was really funny. And she thought it was really funny, and a bunch of other people thought it was entertaining. And I guess it's going on the internet now because I'm a fool. I'm looking aside because, yes, I did write it down because I am not only OCD, I'm easily distracted, and I forget things unless I write them down, so it's just helpful for me. So, I bring to you the story of Les Miserables, the musical. Okay, so a really long time ago, like 1800s time ago, there was this dude named Jean Valjean, and he stole a loaf of bread, and he broke a window, and he got arrested in the process for doing so. He's been in prison for 19 years, and the story begins on his release date. The main cop officer person, his name is Javert, and Javert is all like, I don't like you, just making that clear, just plain as day, I do not like you because you're a thief, but you go now. Here's your yellow paper ticket of leave. And Javon's like, yay! And he goes and tries to find a job, but no one will pay him well because he's, on paper, a criminal. And, I mean, this is France. Then he stays with a priest because he's homeless, and he steals stuff, and then the cops find him, and they're like, oh, you get to go back to jail. And he's like, no! And the priest jumps in, and he says, he did not steal them, I gave them to him. Because the priest is a good person. Kinda comes with being a priest. And then Valjean has this epiphany about, like, being a good person, and how he can't really fully live out his life as being Jean Valjean, because on paper, Jean Valjean's a criminal. So he has this epiphany to change his identity completely. Jump ahead 10 years. He is now the mayor of the town under a different name. And 10 years later, that's where we are now, we are introduced into a factory, and we get introduced into this character named Fantine. And we learn very quickly that she has a daughter who's, I want to say, like 6, and her name's Cosette, and she's staying with these people named the Thénardiers. And the Thénardiers are disgusting, gross, mean, but they're wonderful. They are the comedic relief of the show, and they cause a lot of shenanigans, And just saying, Madame Thénardier is a dream role of mine. Just saying. They also have a daughter named Eponine, but she's not important in this scene. So anyways, Fantine gets this letter from the Thénardiers asking for more money to pay for her daughter, like she does, and one of her co-workers basically turns into a bitch, calls her a prostitute, foreshadowing, convinces the boss that she's right, and the boss fires Fantine, even though Fantine is this super adorable, innocent thing. So anyways, Fantine gets fired, and she does end up becoming a prostitute just to pay for her daughter. Then technically her name's like a lovely lady because she's on the docks servicing, you know, businessmen and sailors and etc. And she runs into Valjean as the mayor, so he's not known as Valjean right now. And he's like, "Oh my god, didn't mean for you to get fired. I'm so sorry. How can I help?" And so she's dying, of course, because it's France in the 1800s and she's a prostitute. And what is this story without our first death of the show? So he takes her to the hospital, and her dying words are, in a nutshell, "Oh my god, take care of my child, you fool." And he's like, "Okay." So he goes to the Thénardiers and pays them a lot of money, and he gets Cosette and raises Cosette as his own daughter. Pause. Before this, Javert is, you know, chasing him because Jean Valjean broke his pearl 10 years ago, and Javert apparently sucks at his job because 10 years later and he still hasn't caught the guy. And then he realizes, "Oh my god, this mayor is Jean Valjean, mind blown, what's up?" And he's just like, "You." And they sing about it. Javert has like a moment of, "Okay, go save that poor daughter. But I will get you. Don't you worry about it." Jump ahead 10 years. Again, I promise we're done time traveling now. So Cosette has been living with Jean Valjean, and is like 18 or something now. And then we also learn, well, we get introduced to Eponine, who is Cosette's age and the real daughter of the Thénardiers. And then we also meet Marius, who is, he's part of the ABC Boys, which are like revolutionary type guys. To be honest, I never understood. I just know that there's fighting. And so Eponine is hopelessly in love with Marius, who can't take a hint. Like, ever. But he does have the capability to go all Romeo and Juliet and fall in love, like head over heels in love with Cosette the second he bumps into her. I'm pretty sure Eponine must be Canadian or something because she's super duper nice. And internally she's like, "Oh my god, I'm in love with you, but I'm gonna be a nice person and help you be with Cosette because I'm..." And meanwhile, the Thénardiers are causing shenanigans. And then also, meanwhile, Marius and the ABC Boys are prepping for revolutionary battle thingy by singing because that's apparently how it works. And then later at the barricades, Marius is like, "Give this love letter to Eponine. No, Eponine, give this love letter to Cosette." And she's just like, "Damn it. Okay." And she goes and gives the letter to Jean Valjean to give to Cosette. Jean Valjean reads it, and then he learns that his daughter is in love with Marius, and he's like, "Okay." And she, Eponine, gets back to the barricades and dies in Marius's arms, who still can't take a hint. Jean Valjean is helping with the fighting at the barricades and all, and then for some apparent reason, I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't remember, Javert appears, and he's all like, "I'm gonna be helpful, I'm gonna help you, because I'm a good person." And Valjean's like, "No, he's a fool, you're fools, he lies, no, he no helping, he no good person." So, the ABC Boys are like, "Valjean, you can do to him whatever you want." And Javert is obviously expecting Valjean to kill him because it's been like 20 years now that they've been on this wild goose chase. And instead, Valjean lets him go free. And Javert's like, the hell, you could have killed me. You had the right to. Wait. Right versus wrong. Law versus being a decent human, which makes the law wrong. And I've been following the law for 20 years, which makes me wrong for 20 years. What is my life? My life is a lie. And then I sing, and then I kill myself. Because that's how it works. Back at the barricade, there's another shooting, and everyone dies, except for Marius, who gets injured, and Valjean, which I'm pretty sure only happens out of convenience to the story, because it's just easier when people die, apparently. Valjean and Marius are hightailing it through the sewers to get back to safety, aka Valjean's house, and they fall asleep in the sewers, and Thénardier is, going into the sewers, causing shenanigans. And he's like, oh my god, dead people, I'm gonna pickpocket them. And he ends up taking the wedding ring that Marius has for Cosette in his pocket. And then he turns him over. He's like, I know you. I gotta flee. I must flee now. So he hightails it out of there. And then finally they wake up, and Valjean and Marius make it back to safety. A couple days later, Marius's health is getting great, and they're officially engaged, Marius and Cosette. And Valjean tells Marius, for lack of better words, oh my god, yay, you engaged my daughter. Tell her I'm dead or gone or something. For her safety. And the next scene is Marius and Cosette's wedding, in which the Thénardiers make their final appearance in the show and dress up as dukes and other fancy people. And steal shiny things. They give the ring back, and Marius is like, I don't like you, out. And they get funny, and then they get kicked out. And then after the wedding, Valjean is writing what I assume is his suicide note. Don't quote me. And then Cosette, who was told that he's dead, walks in. And she's just like, hold up. You're supposed to be dead. And he's like, one step ahead of you. And then the most metaphoric death I've ever seen in my life. Symbolic, metaphoric, I don't really care what the proper terminology is at this point. He is sitting down, and he's, of course, singing to Cosette about how it's his time to go and everything. And then he stands up, and then you assume he's dead. Just as he's sitting down, alive, standing up, dead. Don't ask me to explain it, because I'm not going to. And this was at least in the production that I was a part of. Stand up, you're dead. Then the rest of the cast basically goes all poltergeist, and there's a really pretty trio between Fantine, Eponine, and Valjean, and then slowly but surely Javert joins in, and the ABC boys, and then the Thénardiers kind of like sneak in because they're still alive, and then the rest of France shows up, and I assume they're all dead to make things more interesting, and just for kicks. Then you realize the only people alive, unless you count all of France, is Marius, Cosette, and the Thénardiers, and it gets awkward. But then they just all freaking bang out a final number. It's glorious. And the movie comes out on Christmas. And it sounds like a great family film. That's the story of Les Mis. It's pretty wonderful. Go listen to the music. This was fun. Maybe I'll do this again. I don't know. Meh. Well, this exists on the internet now. That's cool.